Now, in these two, what the directions read, they say solve the system by elimination. So this is by elimination. This is elimination. Okay. So what does it mean when we solve a system by elimination? Well, the first thing you want to look and you want to make sure is that you want to get it so that way either this number next to the y on the top equation is the same as the bottom one, but only opposite sign, or that it's the same number but opposite sign for the x's. So in this first one, let's see. 6. Is that the same thing as -1 but opposite sign? No, they're not the same, right? The opposite of 6 would be -6. Or the thing that we would be looking for is this to be a -6, or this to be a +1. So the y's aren't going to cancel here. But if you look at the x's, right, this is 5, and then this is -5, which is precisely what you want. You want it to be the same number, but opposite signs. So this is +5, this is -5. Once that's the case, you go ahead and you just add the two equations together. So for this first one, I didn't need to change anything. All I needed to do was add the two equations together. And the reason why I want it so that way they're opposite but the same, because 5 plus -5, 5 apples plus -5 apples is no apples, or 5 x's plus -5 x's are no x's. And that's good. I want them to cancel out. So I have just y's now. So 6y plus -1y is 5y. And don't forget to add the right hand side of the equality as well. -5 plus -20 is -25. And now the resulting equation I can easily solve for y by dividing by 5 on both sides, and I get y equals -5. Now, once I have y, I still need to get x. So I can plug into either of the two equations. It doesn't matter. One will probably be slightly easier than the other to plug into, but it won't matter. So I rewrite the top equation. I'm just picking the top one. It doesn't matter. I don't know which one's easier. It doesn't matter to me. Okay? Equals -5. So I rewrote it. But what do I know y is now? Y is -5. So if I want to get x, I plug in what I know y to be. Y is -5. So 6 times -5. Because instead of writing y, I write -5. Equals -5. And I solve this equation for x. So I get 5x. 6 times -5 is -30. Equals -5. I add 30 on both sides. This goes to 0. And I get 5x is equal to -5 plus 30. It's +25. I divide by 5 to finally get x. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times x is just x. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And I have my solution. X is 5, y is -5. And again, I can check. I plug in for x and y, and I see if it makes both equations true. So let's just check it real quick before I go on to the next one. 5 times, instead of writing 5 here, instead of writing x here, I write 5 plus 6 times, instead of writing y here, I write -5. And this should give me a question mark. I'm checking -5. Let's see. 5 times 5 is 25, plus negative 30 or minus 30, whatever you want to say. Does that equal negative 5? Yes. 25 minus 30 is the same thing as 25 plus is the same thing as 25 plus negative 30, which is negative 5. Negative 5 equals negative 5. And it works for the top equation. Now I have to check to see if it works for the bottom equation. So let's see if it works for the bottom equation. 5 times, instead of writing x, I write 5 plus, what's the equation? I could, you want to be careful. Negative 5x minus y equals negative 20, alright? But now instead of writing x, I write 5. So it's negative 5 times 5 minus y is negative 5, and I should get negative 20. So negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Negative minus the negative is plus the positive. Negative 25 plus 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 equals negative 20, and it works for the bottom equation. So this solution worked for the top and it worked for the bottom, so it is indeed a solution to the system. Now I do the same thing over here for number 53, but only if we look our first step here. If I add these two equations together, is anything going to cancel? 2x plus 6x is 8x. So I still have x's. 1y plus 8y is 9y. So nothing canceled out completely. That means that I need to do work on one of these equations. I want to make it so a 2 becomes a negative 6, or a 1 becomes a negative 8. And I could make the 1 a negative 8, or I could make the 2 a negative 6. Okay? Because I want to, if this is a negative 6 plus 6 is 0. And that's what I want. I want it to cancel. So I work with this top equation. And I could make the 1 here, this 1y, into negative 8y's, and it will cancel. But I could make this 2 a negative 6 by multiplying by negative 3. And if I multiply by negative 3 on the left-hand side, I gotta multiply by negative 3 on the right-hand side. I distribute the negative 3. I'm gonna get negative 6x minus 3y equals negative 12. And now I have a new equation, and I just rewrite the bottom one. 6x plus 8y equals negative 18. And now what you get is that now you see negative 6x is the same but opposite as 6x. And now I just add the two equations together. Because negative 6x and 6x is 0 when I add them. Negative 3y plus 8y is positive 5y. And then negative 12 plus negative 18 is negative 30. And if I want to solve for y, I divide by 5. I'm going to get y equals negative 6. And now that I have y as being negative 6, shake, stop, malfunction. There we go. Okay. Wait, let's undo a little bit more. Okay. And now that I have y is equal to negative 6, I can plug it into either of the two original equations or even the new equation. It doesn't even really matter. But I'll plug it into the top original, but I could have plugged it into the bottom original. So I have 2x plus 1y is equal to 4. But now I know y is negative 6. So I write 2x minus 6. What's happening here? What's happening? What's happening? Okay. 2y minus 6 equals 4. And then I solve this for x by adding 6 on both sides. This cancels. Okay, 2x, don't glitch out. 2x equals 10. I divide by 2 on both sides. Yeah. Glitching out again. Let's undo. Give it some time to breathe. Divide by 2 on both sides. Gonna get x equals 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times x is just x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And this is my solution set. And right as it glitches out. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now I have it that x is 5, y is negative 6. And again, you could check. You could plug in 5 for x, you could plug in negative 6 for y, and see that that will give you 4. You can plug in 5 for x over here, and negative 6 for y right here, and see that you're going to get negative 18.